Hi, fourth graders. Here's a lesson to help you with your Wednesday assignment on answering the question, what is a gold rush, using the RACE strategy, R-A-C-E. So remember, the R means restate the question using a sentence format. So if the question is, why was Jim late? We wouldn't say because he overslept. We would put it in a sentence format. Jim was late because. Then you answer, A is answer the question completely. Jim was late because he overslept. We would cite text evidence, so whatever text supports that answer that he overslept, we would cite that here. And E is explain how your evidence proves your answer. Let's go through each one quickly in more detail. So R, restate the question. To restate the question, you use words from the question to begin your answer. So question words start with who, what, why, where, when, or how. So it's very easy when you're restating the question, you just take out those question words. So for example, if the question is, what is the theme of the story? If you just take out the what is, and then the answer is the theme of the story is. Or this example, where did Miguel misplace his house keys? We can just take out the where did, and then we can restate the question. Miguel misplaces his house keys at, and then we would answer the question. So that is how you restate the question. A, answering the question. Make sure that you understand what's being asked. You underline or circle key words in the question to help you answer the whole question, use vocab from the text, and be careful that you don't start with a pronoun in your answer if you haven't already introduced the character in your answer. So for example, if the question is, why was Jim late? Your answer would not be he was late because. You don't use that pronoun he. You want to use his personal name or personal noun, which is Jim, and instead of a pronoun. So you would say Jim was late because, not he was late. C, cite your evidence. Show me the evidence. Lift those lines from the text. Here are some sentence stems to get you started. So you could say the author stated, according to the text, a detail from the text. An example is, on page 7, the author states, this is shown when the author says. So here are some examples to help you cite your text evidence to back up what you're saying. That's the proof to support your answer. There are two ways to cite text evidence. You can paraphrase, which is kind of a quick summary. You're putting the text in your own words. You don't need quotation marks. So here's an example. According to the author, dolphins are able to communicate with one another. A direct quote, you must put in quotation marks. That's telling the reader that this came directly from the text. So for the example, the author writes, comma, quotation mark, dolphins have sophisticated communication capabilities that allow them to exchange information with other members of their pod, period, end of quote. So those are two ways, and really in class we've been focusing on the direct quote, that you actually lift that line from the text using quotation marks. E, explain your evidence. What does the evidence mean? And here are some sentence stems that would help you. This evidence mean, this evidence proves, this evidence shows, this evidence is important because, this evidence supports. You're explaining your evidence. You're explaining why you chose that text evidence. So let's look at an example. If the question is, why is Jackson upset? Using race, we would answer it this way. Jackson is upset, I've restated the question, because his family is moving. There you go, I just answered the question. According to the story, his mother has gotten a new job. So there's some text evidence. They chose to paraphrase the text. And then they went into explaining the evidence. This evidence allows me to infer that they are moving because of her new job. And then they added another piece of text evidence and explained that evidence. Here's another example using the Dust Bowl refugee reading that we had this week. So if the question is, What were some of the causes of the 1931 Dust Bowl? So let me restate the question. Some of the causes of the 1931 Dust Bowl were drought and heavy winds. So I answered the question completely. According to the text on page 6, and here's a tool we use if we don't use the whole sentence, we can say dot, 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 and just get to the part of the text that we need. The Great Plains region began suffering from drought. In addition, here I used a transition phrase. The text also states, then heavy winds caused a series of dust storms to ravage the Midwest. So there I included 2 pieces of text evidence to support my answer. Now I'm going to explain it. This evidence shows that the combination of drought and heavy winds created the devastating dust storms. So I used complete sentences, I cited text evidence, and I explained my answer. So 4th graders, when you are doing this, ask yourself, did you restate the question, answer everything completely, cite text evidence, explain the evidence, use complete sentences that are punctuated and capitalized correctly, revise and edit your answer as needed.